Drum roll, please. We are back with Rethink Real Estate for 2025. Here we go. Welcome to Rethink Real Estate. My name is Ben Brady, and this is a real estate podcast aimed to deliver sales strategies, marketing tips, and business insights from industry experts and myself to build a listing-focused business for the future. Let's get into it. Well, here we are. We're back with Rethink Real Estate in 2025. I just wanted to start off by acknowledging what's going on in LA with the fires. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, ultimately in the greater Los Angeles region. Obviously, all of Southern California is suffering also. It is a pretty large area for us as an organization. Our team, thankfully, few of them been evacuated. But that being said, everybody is accounted for. Everybody is safe. We've had a few family members amongst the community lose some of their homes as well. But it is a tragedy what is happening in the greater LA marketplace. But also wanted to make sure that everybody understood where they could go to have some format of an impact. So we're going to link below. We've gotten together with a great deal of third parties that are doing a wonderful job helping with donations, whether it be monetary, whether it be food, whether it be shelter. And we just wanted to make sure that if you wanted to help or thought that you needed to, there is also avenues of not only donations, whether it be monetary or food or shelter, there is also sweat equity that you can do with going and helping with the cleanup efforts and just assisting people in general. Again, thoughts and prayers with everybody. Hope everybody is safe. And one of the things I do know about the Los Angeles community or the Southern California community, having been here now for 10 years, is that it is a resilient community and everyone always gets behind each other. So it's one of those things that, at the end of the day, it's a chance to move forward by supporting each other. Now, as we dive into the 2025 marketplace, it's obviously early stages of 2025. And one of the things that I'm recording this off the back of is not only obviously the media hype when it comes to everything that is going on in the Los Angeles fire marketplace, but it's been about the real estate. It's been about, don't worry about it. These homes are so expensive. Some of the chatter that you've seen online, I just don't believe that is one of the things that we need to be focusing is on the average sale price of the properties that were burnt down. I think we need to be conscious of the fact in the real estate community that this is going to have a wider effect than what we ultimately thought, certainly in the Southern California region where insurance was already a difficult thing to get. So I think that this is going to be seen from an impact perspective, whether it be rents, whether it be, just the cost of living in general is going to escalate because it now gives the insurance companies even further excuse to either abandon the area or inflate the prices even further. So I think we've got to be conscious of that when we are reflecting on this. And certainly from, the chatter that you've seen online, there's definitely been a lot of support, but there's also been some interesting messages on there as well when it comes to where the properties have been burning down. But as far as the greater real estate marketplace as we dive into 2025, is that it's been a good start to the year so far from an increase of interest of properties that are on the marketplace across the US at all types of price points. We've had some early transactions between $2 and $7.5 million. We've seen some people definite in their decisions, around the factor of that, hey, no, we're going to make a decision to purchase this year, where we did see some level of uncertainty at the at the end of last year. And the thing that I sort of wanted to touch on and I wanted to sort of reflect on is that we've come off the back of the information of a really strong jobs report. And we've come off the back of, the 10-year escalating, and going right up at the beginning of this year. And that's one of the things I want to mention is that I think that there is so much optimism around 2025 really repairing the real estate market or repairing the level of interest or repairing transaction volume. I think that if there's one thing that is suffering in all of the real estate marketplaces over the last 12 months is that volume of transaction. I do believe we've gone through a real estate recession within transactions. And is that going to continue into this year? The early indications are that yes, it is. And I know that a lot of people are not going to like to hear that. We want to stay optimistic, but you've got to be cautiously optimistic as we move into things. We can't be selling people on the fact that, just wait for the year to get going and it will definitely get better. I think we've got to deal in the here and now. Because if someone is going to make the decision to wait, I think they're going to have to wait a lot longer than what they ultimately thought. There's no doubt that people are worried about a stimulated economy and the inflation side of things. So therefore, interest rates are going to stay higher for longer. Therefore, maybe that stimulation of more properties coming on the marketplace and people moving isn't going to be the inventory levels spiking like maybe we thought they were. Now, there always is the necessary side of moving real estate. So that's why it's so important that we don't look for the consistencies in the market. We don't look for consistency in an inconsistent industry. Now, I said this at the end of last year, and I have been saying it through all of the business planning that we've been doing with our team. Okay. Not only have we been doing it with business owners and realtors, we've been doing it with a great deal of other individuals as well that are associated with the company within our internal team. And part of the process that we have to really remind ourselves on a daily basis is that we are in a cyclical industry. Now, that doesn't mean that it's cyclical based on the seasons. It means that it's cyclical based on all of the economic trends that happen within a particular time and a particular moment. So we need to go back and try and look for trends. And one of the things in doing that in our business planning strategy that we've done with business owners and agents is we've gone and taken 5 years of data. Now, obviously, some agents and some businesses haven't been established for that long. And what we've looked for is the trends. Because even though it's a contradicting statement, is that we're looking for consistent trends within an inconsistent business, we kind of confirm that through trying to find some consistencies. So for example, one of the exercises that we go through and do is we can compare each individual month's income over the last 5 years. And it's so funny to see the level of inconsistencies that there are in the business, looking for oh no, I make more money in summer versus I make more money in winter and all these different things. It's so evident when you go back and look at month on month over 5 years, the different levels of consistency, and all of it tied back to the individual efforts. The only thing that is necessary from a real estate perspective and the only thing that we can confine consistency in is your effort. The individual's effort of continuing, if you're a business owner, to recruit, if you're an agent, to prospect, or to just stay in touch with your database. That continued effort to hoard as much data as you possibly can and build your community as much as you possibly can. There is the consistencies in all of that. There's not the consistencies in the income, unfortunately, that everybody is ultimately looking for, including us as well. So I think we had to lean into the nature of finding comfort in the inconsistency of our business and trying to understand that's what we're going to deal with on a daily basis. The other thing that we've sort of done as well, and it's 2025 for us in our planning, certainly from an internal team perspective, I've tried to make sure that we aren't diving into the frustration of being somebody or something that we're not. So the mantra for us this year is that we are not a technology company. We are not a marketing company. We are a real estate company. Okay. We're trying to inspire a better way from a real estate perspective. We're very focused on our mission and our vision internally with our company at the moment to make sure that we are on point when it comes to messaging and not trying to pretend like something or someone that we are not. It's interesting where early this year, I was listening to a podcast episode with a gentleman who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it was an episode with Rich Rolls. And one of the things that really resonated with me was he said, I had to try and stop trying to be somebody or change me because I was constantly just being disappointed. I'd make the change and I'd be going really well, but then I'd fall into bad habits and it would be really devastating. And he said something like along the lines of examples. He said, if you've been an anxious person as a child, you're probably going to continue to be that anxious person for the rest of your life. You've just got to be aware of it. And trying to change that just creates levels of frustration. And it was so applicable to real estate. So many people at the beginning of the year are like, I want to do this many deals. Okay, great. How are you going to do that? Well, I've got my database and referrals, but I'm going to try and do cold calling. I'm going to try and do this door knocking. I'm going to try and do this, and this. Have you ever done that before? No. Why have you not done that before? I just, never really thought about it or whatever it is. But some of those people are not cold prospectors. Some are better at just nurturing relationships. And just knowing who you are and doubling down on knowing who you are is something that we're using as a message internal to our own companies, okay? But it also in the messaging to our business planning as well. But all in all, the one thing I will say from a positivity perspective in the marketplace that we're coming into is that real estate prices are still maintaining to be robust. I don't see any real dip in the value of real estate in the early indications of this year or what is coming up. But it is one of those things that is just tough in that recession of volume of deal or recession of transaction that we go through. And some people, if it does stay this way, they may feel a little downhearted with real estate. But understanding that the consistencies or the market is in between your ears. There is always an opportunity if you can stay consistent in the things that you can control. Looking forward to 2025 with Rethink Real Estate. We've got a great January that we've got prepared. We're looking into data, okay, in the sense of that we have a program that is focused on real estate data that is coming up here shortly. Not trying to give too much away. I'm horrible at keeping secrets. We've also going to be focusing on the marketing, the technology element, and also we've got a guest speaker that's talking, that is a futurist and talking about where things are going. Now, where things are going from not only the factor of that email was one of the biggest forms of being able to communicate with people in social media. What are the new mediums that are coming up that you have to be in the attention economy? The attention economy is going to get a lot of focus from us from a marketing perspective this year and the competing for that attention. Because we've got to remember in the real estate community, we are individuals most of the time that don't have incredibly large marketing budgets. We just have sweat equity content. And we're versing and we're competing against these major corporations for people's attention. So we are in the attention commodity. And how do we have that strategic edge by having something to talk about when it comes to real estate? Because a lot of people's net worth, or a lot of people think that their vehicle to net worth, increased net worth, is coming through the nature of real estate, and making sure that that is in the communication message so that we can stand out against these major corporations that are always focused on getting people's attention. Either way, guys, a jam-packed year. There's no doubt about it. Wishing you all the best for 2025. Thinking of all of those in the greater Los Angeles region, and looking forward to bringing you consistent value for 2025 on Rethink Real Estate. Thanks so much. So about 75% of our audience hasn't liked, followed, or subscribed to our podcast. It would mean the world to us, and it would help this podcast more than you know to expand our reach if you were to like, follow, or subscribe on any of the platforms that you're watching or listening on. Thanks again.